In the quiet forest, before the first drop touches the earth, a peculiar hush drapes the leaves. The wind shifts. The birds pause. The animals sense something. Nature does not need an announcement, it knows. And in much the same way, when something immense nears your life, the soul also begins to sense it. It stirs in silence, preparing you with subtle signals that the unseen is about to become visible. The Buddha once said, "When the student is ready, the teacher appears." But the wisdom beneath those words reaches deeper. The teacher may come not just as a person, but as a shift, a sign, a moment that whispers, "Get ready." It is not always thunder that tells of what is to come, it is often the falling of a single leaf. Unnoticed by most, yet known by the awakened, this teaching is about those signs. Not omens, not superstition, but inner awakenings that align with Zen and Buddhist truth. The signs are the inner shifts that occur before something grand enters your path. If the heart remains watchful, these signals will not be missed. 1. The sudden collapse of what is familiar. The moment before greatness begins often feels like destruction. Something breaks, and it breaks without mercy. A job ends. A relationship fades. A routine crumbles. And the first instinct is grief. But this breaking is sacred. Zen teaches that the obstacle is the path. When the life you once knew no longer fits. It is not punishment, it is preparation. Buddhism explains impermanence as the root of liberation. The lotus does not bloom from polished stone, but from murky waters. Loss is not an ending, it is the soil where the unseen begins to germinate. In this moment, silence becomes louder. Thoughts become more painful. The old identity starts dissolving. And while confusion fills the mind, the deeper truth is that something vast begins its movement toward you. Satisfaction comes when you recognize, destruction is not failure. It is nature's cleansing, making space for what cannot fit within the confines of your past. 2. A strange stillness within you. Once the outer world shifts, something inward slows down. You speak less. You desire less. You begin to seek solitude not out of sadness, but out of necessity. This is the silence Zen monks cherish. A moment when noise offends and stillness soothes, the sudden desire to sit alone, to gaze at nothing, to close the eyes and feel breath moving in and out. This is not laziness. It is the calm before alignment. Something vast approaches, and the soul, wise in its design, begins to empty itself of excess. When something divine nears, inner clutter begins to dissolve. That peace you sense, so unfamiliar yet comforting, is the universe adjusting your vibration to receive what the mind cannot yet comprehend. This stillness should not be feared. It is not death. It is preparation for rebirth. 3. People begin to fall away. Not all departures are tragedies. When something large prepares to enter your existence, some presences must step aside. Friends stop calling. Familiar faces drift. Invitations cease. But instead of panic, feel gratitude. Zen reminds us that the falling away of what no longer aligns is a kind of grace. Attachment clouds vision. But detachment brings clarity. The lotus flower blooms not surrounded by crowding vines, but in its solitary elegance. You are being lightened. Those who mocked your silence, who doubted your stillness, who resisted your evolution, they begin to vanish because their purpose in your journey ends. They taught you what they came to teach. And now, space opens. This is not loneliness. This is sacred solitude. the kind that calls in what is destined. 4. Repeated patterns suddenly stop making sense. Everything you used to tolerate begins to feel unbearable. The conversations that once amused you now drain you. The distractions you once chased now seem foolish. The same choices that defined you now feel like cages. This is clarity rising. Buddhism teaches that suffering stems from ignorance and illusion. But the path to truth begins with dissatisfaction. You no longer fit the mold you once poured yourself into. Your patterns no longer comfort, they provoke discomfort. This discomfort signals transformation. What once seemed secure now feels like bondage because your soul knows something greater comes. It is as if the universe, like a silent teacher, shows you a mirror and asks, "Are you ready to break this loop?" When you answer yes, the gate opens. 5. Unexpected encounters and synchronicities appear. A quote repeats in multiple books. A stranger says the exact words you were thinking. A dream speaks a truth you've long buried. Numbers reappear in patterns. Objects fall in your path. These are not accidents. They are alignment. Zen teaches that truth is not revealed in loud declarations but in soft echoes. Buddhism reminds us to stay present. In presence, all things speak. When the world begins whispering to you, through people, symbols, events, you are not losing reason. You are gaining awareness. The universe begins to prepare your path with signposts, letting you know, the journey speeds now. This is the time to trust the irrational feeling that something massive walks toward your life. 6. Old wounds rise for final healing. Before the great enters, the wounds beg for release. You may weep without knowing why. Memories you buried return. Betrayals resurface. Emotions intensify. This is the purge. And it is sacred. In Buddhism, suffering is not to be avoided, it is to be observed. As you prepare to receive something vast, your being must shed what cannot coexist with it. Old pain is not returning to harm you. It is surfacing so it can leave for good. The deeper the healing, the greater the preparation. The universe does not deliver abundance to hearts still clinging to bitterness. Your tears, though private, cleanse the way forward, honor the pain. It is not weakness. It is proof that light nears. 7. A mysterious confidence rises from nowhere. This final sign arrives uninvited and unexplainable. A strange strength enters your chest. Not pride. Not arrogance. Just knowing. You begin to walk differently. You speak less but with more clarity. You expect nothing but trust everything. Zen calls this satori, a glimpse of truth beyond thought. Without external validation, you begin to feel certain that something vast comes. You no longer argue, chase, or convince. You simply prepare. You trust the unseen. You allow. In this quiet confidence, the universe recognizes you as ready. And what you once thought impossible begins to find you, not because you chased it, but because you became its match. Receive without clinging. When these signs arise, do not run. Do not analyze. Just bow. You are being positioned for something vast, not because you demanded it, but because you aligned with it. Zen teaches, only when you let go of all attachments can you receive the fullness of life. And so, the moment you stop trying to force your way forward and instead flow in silence, in gratitude, in awareness, the gates open. The blessing you sense was never delayed. It simply waited until you could carry it without it breaking you, and now you are ready. The silent wind before the storm of blessings. When something profound approaches, the awakened soul no longer rushes, it listens. These 7 signs are not random moments, they are sacred alignments between your inner awakening and the rhythm of the universe. They serve not only as preparation but as purification. The heart must first be emptied before it can be filled with something greater. Let each sign be re-examined with stillness in the mind and silence in the mouth. The collapse is compassion in disguise. When the known world dissolves, it often feels like betrayal by fate. But in the Zen path, what collapses only does so because it lacks the essence to sustain your next becoming. The heart may resist, the ego may scream, but the higher self bows in surrender. Let the ruins teach you. They whisper, you were never meant to stay small. Without destruction, construction has no place to begin. This is not punishment. It is the sacred clearing. The stillness is the most sacred signal. Stillness feels unfamiliar in a world that worships motion. But Zen says, sitting quietly, doing nothing, spring comes, and the grass grows by itself. This is not laziness. This is trust. When the soul goes silent, the universe begins to speak. When your body slows, your energy aligns. The grandest miracles often arrive not to the hurried, but to the emptied, those who know how to make space. In that space, the greatest gifts are received. The departures are gifts with silent wrapping. People fall away not because of flaw, but because of flow. Every soul that leaves your path creates a vacuum into which a higher alignment may enter. Cling not to the fading presence. Bless them and release. The ones who stayed during your noise may not endure your silence. Let them go. This is not abandonment, it is ascension. The ending of patterns is a new pattern emerging. When your once soothing patterns begin to feel suffocating, you are not broken, you are being upgraded. Zen teaches, the awareness of repetition is the seed of liberation. Do not fear your boredom. It is the soul's protest against looping illusions. When your taste changes, your destiny does too. You no longer desire what delays your truth. This is evolution. Synchronicities are the universe's way of speaking softly. A phrase repeated. A stranger who confirms your thoughts. A dream that reveals what logic cannot. These are not to be ignored. They are messages left in the code of reality. They do not shout, they echo. Buddha said, if you truly see, you understand. So stop dismissing the signs as coincidence. Life speaks in symbolism. The wise learn that nothing is random. Especially now. Old wounds resurface so they can finally leave. Pain returns not to punish but to release. When you feel sadness rising for no visible reason, smile. The soul recognizes something massive is near, and it wants to clear out what cannot enter with you. Let the tears wash. Let the pain rise. Let the breath deepen. You are not regressing, you are shedding. What comes next demands a purified heart. The confidence without source is the purest form of knowing. A strange certainty begins to form, calm, centered, and grounded. It does not shout. It does not boast. It just is. Zen says, the master does not seek honor, yet all honor comes to him. This confidence is not inflated. It is silent truth. A knowing so deep it no longer explains itself. When this feeling rises, walk in stillness. You are now aligned, the mountain approaches. Become the vessel, not the architect. The signs are not promises. They are invitations. Invitations to surrender, to prepare, to allow. When something immense nears, your task is not to force it, but to receive it. You do not build the wave. You simply learn to surf it, become the still cup, empty of opinion, ego, and noise. Let life pour into you as it wills. You will not be disappointed. The Zen path is not to chase, but to align. Not to demand, but to become. And when you become, it comes, and when it does, it will not ask permission. It will recognize you, for you will already be ready. Thanks for watching. Hope enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Just click the subscribe button below